Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. So today I'm talking to you about some news that's been floating around for a few weeks, and it's about a possible return to Star Trek by none other than Scott Bakula in the role of Captain Jonathan Archer. I did a video a little while back which sort of talked about possible other characters we might see pop up in Strange New Worlds, and I sort of speculated that obviously T'Pol and Dr. Phlox would be prime candidates for guest stars to pop up in Strange New Worlds. But I kind of discounted Archer as a possibility just due to the fact that how old he would be at the time of Strange New Worlds. I think he would be over 150 years old. So I kind of scratched out the possibility for him returning in any way. However, a few weeks back, a Giant Freaking Robot reported in an article that they had a trusted inside source, and it was the same source that gave them their exclusive regarding Don Cheadle appearing as War Machine in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So having seen, obviously, Falcon and Winter Soldier, we know that that was a confirmed rumour. Don Cheadle was in the first episode. Apparently, the powers that be at Paramount want to bring Scott Bakula back, give him a cameo, most likely in a Strange New Worlds episode, if I had to guess, and then potentially, if that goes well, then leave the door open for him to return in a bigger capacity in some way in a Star Trek show. I think the only way they could feasibly bring him back would be in a time travel episode of Strange New Worlds. I honestly don't think that if they were going to bring Bakula back to play Archer, that it would be as a 150-year-old man. My feeling is they would want him to return to the role in the age that Scott Bakula is now, without having to kind of make him look like a, on death's door with a walking stick and, hideous wrinkles and all that sort of stuff. I think it would make sense to bring him back 20 years after we saw him at the end of Enterprise. But if they were going to do that, it would need to be a time travel story. And I don't see it playing into any of the other shows like Picard or Discovery, because those shows tend to have very structured stories that span the entire season of episodes. I think the possibility for him to return would be most likely in a once-off Strange New Worlds episode, because we know those stories are going to be standalone episodes, much like Star Trek of old and Next Generation and Voyager and original series type storytelling, non-serialized. I don't think this is viable in, say, Picard. I think Picard is going to be full up with guest stars from Geordi and Guinan and potentially Q and all of those Next Generation alumni. I honestly don't think that bringing Archer into Picard is probably going to be viable. So I think the most logical avenue would be Strange New Worlds. Seeing Archer in the context of the Enterprise and Pike and crew and so forth, that seems to be the most logical fit to me. And I think that could work really well. I honestly think in terms of captain styles, I think obviously Pike and Archer are probably not that dissimilar in terms of their captaincy style and so forth. So it could be a very interesting integration if we were going to have a time travel story in Strange New Worlds where somehow the Enterprise gets maybe thrown back 100 years or 75 years or something into the past, or there's some sort of wormhole or something, and they happen to come across the original Enterprise NX-01, but, maybe when it was about to be decommissioned, maybe, Archer's been, he's an admiral or something, and he's kind of, he was on like some sort of last glory mission before they mothball the ship, and then it somehow gets swept through a wormhole and it comes into contact with Pike and crew maybe. Something like that I think could be an interesting way to go with it. But I was quite surprised to hear this news. I thought originally that, Archer would be too old by the time we get to Strange New Worlds to reprise his role, but apparently not. Apparently, yes, the powers that be at CBS and whatever want to make this happen. When we hear about news for Picard, they're all keen to bring old characters back. We've seen old characters return. All the different Star Trek series, particularly more recently Picard, with Riker, Troy, Data, Seven of Nine, Hugh Borg, the list goes on and on. So the producers are definitely not in any way scared to bring back old Star Trek characters. We've got Janeway coming back to the Star Trek franchise as part of the Prodigy animated series. In fact, the entire Strange New Worlds series is based on the bringing back of old characters. And I think they love to delight fans, as they did in Star Trek Picard, bringing back some of the alumni. So, yeah, what do you guys think about this news? And how do you think this is going to play out? Do you think it's going to be a Strange New Worlds appearance that we see Archer come back to? Do you think it's going to be Picard? My money's on Strange New Worlds. But if so, do we want to see Archer pretty much, as Scott Bakula is now, 20 years after Enterprise, maybe as an admiral or something, something like that. But I honestly don't think we want to see him as like a 160-year-old man. I don't think that is in any way a really a good way to bring the character back. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and as always, be sure to subscribe, to like, to share, and to check out my merchandise. Merchandise for the next couple of days is 20% off in my merch store, so be sure to check out some of the cool Star Trek themed t-shirts and whatnot I've got in the merch store for 20% off. And I'll see you guys next time for my next review.